Underneath the plastic casing of a modern electric scooter sits a motor capable of serious torque and speed. But you wouldn't know it off the showroom floor. Out of the box, these machines are strictly governed. Manufacturers cap their top speed at a modest 25 kilometers per hour, specifically to comply with rigid street legal regulations across Europe and Australia. Segway Ninebot operates as a high-tech multinational, pouring R&D into hardware that shares more with industrial robotics than simple recreational equipment. The physical hardware is robust. The only thing keeping the scooter moving at a crawl is a programmable digital cage, lines of code telling the motor to hold back. By systematically stripping away those restrictions, step by step, riders are tearing down those walls. What starts as a simple Bluetooth trick escalates into hardware surgery, ultimately unleashing a 50-kilometer-per-hour street machine. The easiest way to break the cage requires zero physical tools. It takes less than 60 seconds and a smartphone. Because Segway Ninebot builds identical hardware for global markets, the speed limit is tied to the scooter's serial number. Using a third-party app, riders swap the European O2GV prefix to the global O1GX. Instantly, top speed jumps to 35 kilometers per hour. Naturally, the manufacturer responded. Segway deployed firmware 1.7.0, an over-the-air digital patch, explicitly coded to block third-party apps from modifying that serial number. The community quickly escalated to level 2. Instead of just tweaking the serial number, riders began using tools like ScooterHacking Utility to flash custom firmware, entirely overriding the manufacturer's code. This custom code unlocks a technique known as field weakening. By forcing the motor's magnetic fields to operate outside their designated factory parameters, the firmware artificially boosts the wheel's maximum rotational speed. These invisible software tweaks are incredibly convenient, but they eventually hit a hard mathematical ceiling dictated by the scooter's physical electronics. When manufacturers permanently lock the Bluetooth pathways, software alone isn't enough. The hacker resorts to direct physical intrusion using a tool called an ST-Link. This requires tearing open the scooter's dashboard to expose the vehicle control unit. There is no wireless backdoor here. You must hardwire your computer straight into the scooter's brain. By soldering directly to the SWDIO and CLK pins, a direct connection injects a patched memory dump. But the scooter fights back, triggering defense mechanisms and cascading failures like Error 35. It takes multiple flashes to stabilize the machine. Successfully flashing via ST-Link bypasses the standard user interface entirely. It grants root-level access to the machine's core programming, rendering the factory's digital locks irrelevant. But even with root access, you can't cheat physics. The absolute maximum speed is ultimately throttled by the power output of the stock 36-volt battery. This chart maps out a clean mathematical scale, showing the relationship between energy and speed. For these specific electric motors, 1 volt of energy translates to roughly 1 kilometer per hour of top speed. 36 volts gets you 36 kilometers per hour. To go faster, you need 48 volts. In this X-ray view of the deck, the stock 60-cell battery leaves large pockets of empty, wasted space. The final escalation tears this out entirely, squeezing in a massive 80-cell battery pack that fills every millimeter, raising the voltage to 48. This raw power comes with mechanical sacrifices. The original internal charger is entirely incompatible with the new voltage, meaning riders have to strip it out and rely entirely on external charging hardware. These physics-defying upgrades push the scooter to 80 kilometers of range and 50 kilometers per hour. It now occupies a performance bracket usually reserved for light motorcycles. Pushing a 50 kilometer per hour motor on a frame engineered for half that speed subjects small tires and stock brakes to extreme, catastrophic stress. Then there is the financial reality. Slicing open the dashboard permanently voids the manufacturer's warranty, and riding an unrestricted 48-volt scooter in public traffic is strictly illegal in most jurisdictions. Yet, despite this extreme power, the visual footprint remains completely unchanged. These modified machines perfectly blend in with the innocent, low-powered corporate rental fleets sitting on any city sidewalk. That is exactly why riders take on this technological war. It offers heavy vehicle performance while bypassing the licensing fees, the mandatory insurance costs, and the physical bulk. The ultimate reward of the hacking matrix goes beyond raw speed. It is about creating the perfect sleeper, a vehicle that appears entirely ordinary to the outside world while hiding a custom-engineered beast underneath the deck.